In this video, I will share with you all of your major news for Tesla and the broader markets today, including an Optimus competitor that is receiving a $40 billion valuation. And this is a startup not even close to the capabilities of Optimus, which really makes you wonder, when is Wall Street going to start paying attention to what Tesla is actually doing? We also have a clip from CNBC and George Giannis from Canaccord Genuity that has some very positive things to say about Tesla, but does acknowledge Tesla's success this year depends on Tesla coming through with their promises, which I think is a fair argument. We will also discuss Tesla's unusually bullish option activity and the bullish 13F filings that have recently been coming out. Ladies and gentlemen, if you are a frequent viewer of this channel and you have not subscribed yet, do me a quick favor and hit that subscribe button. It helps the overall Tesla movement to share this information to more people each and every single day. Only about 50% of you are subscribed to the channel, at least from viewership in the last 30 months. So do me a quick favor and that like button, subscribe to the channel, and let's get started. First and foremost, if you did not see this news, well, I think you need to. Tesla has started canceling legacy Model Y long-range all-wheel drive orders in the UK due to exceptional demand. The Model Y long-range all-wheel drive is also no longer available to order on Tesla's UK website. Tesla sent this text to someone. It says, due to exceptional demand, we are unable to fulfill your Model Y long-range all-wheel drive order. To enable delivery, we have updated your order to a Model Y long-range rear-wheel drive. This trim offers greater range at a lower price. As a gesture of goodwill, we are offering your lease company enhanced pricing for your benefit. To proceed, please contact your leasing company directly. OpenAI has officially rejected Elon Musk's proposal to buy the artificial intelligence startup's nonprofit parent for $97.4 billion. And again, there's the OpenAI nonprofit that has governance over the for-profit arm. It's like Tesla with their many different business divisions. Tesla controls what Optimus does, or what, FSD does, and all these other subcomponents of the Tesla business. Elon just made it a lot more difficult for OpenAI to proceed with the really spin-off of the for-profit division of OpenAI. Point is here, it's really up to the courts if they open a bidding process for OpenAI, for the nonprofit part of OpenAI, to really figure out the valuation, because with a nonprofit, it's hard to value a nonprofit, and then you have a for-profit arm associated with that has a massive valuation. This is gonna be a thing for some time, and we will get more headlines on this, assuming a judge listens to Elon and opens up a bidding process. Then the for-profit arm is gonna have to bid on the nonprofit alongside Elon as competition, essentially. Sean Hannity will host a joint interview with President Trump and Elon Musk on Fox News next Tuesday night. It has also been reported in recent days that Elon Musk is sleeping in the White House in his office floor, and while there's kind of some concerns that Elon Musk is not a part of Tesla right now, is not running Tesla, which is just absolutely ludicrous. There's managers in place. There's people at Tesla that can run Tesla. Elon and really all CEOs, all they do is make important decisions, right? CEOs do not get in there and run assembly lines and fix lines when they go down and do all this. At least not when you're a very developed company like Tesla is. That's not the job. The job is to make important decisions. And I think Elon's perfectly capable of doing that while also being in Washington. Austria's largest battery powered by Tesla Megapacks is now officially operational. And here you can see a company called Figure, a startup developing humanoid robots, is in talks to raise $1.5 billion at a whopping $40 billion valuation. Wow. If this Figure startup company is worth $40 billion, just imagine what a singular valuation on Optimus should be. I mean, Optimus is really seen as this lotto kind of long shot for most big money investors at Wall Street, on Wall Street. And really, I think they need to start taking it more seriously. As Tesla is gearing up for really mass production by the end of this year, I think it is something that will start to be paid attention to at Tesla. Wes, he is the Cybertruck lead engineer plus reliability, test, and analysis for all Tesla vehicles. He says, as Emmanuel pointed at the Santa Row talk, cabin radar can also detect if a child was left in the vehicle, even if the selfie cam can't. The number of incidents per year is low, but the severity can be extremely high. Just another way Tesla adds value to your family's safety. Basically, so you don't leave your kid in the car on a hot day or a cold day and, something tragic happens. So this is, one of those things where Tesla is really excelling when it comes to safety, as they do in every category. And when I think about Tesla's safety, I always think about the Tesla that fell 250 feet off of a cliff and was totally obliterated, like completely crushed, but all 4 passengers lived. 2 adults, 2 kids. Apparently it was intentional. That's tragic, but I don't think you could do that in any other vehicle. Fall 250 feet, have the vehicle almost completely smashed, and everyone lives. 250 feet is high. Nonetheless, Canaccord Genuity analyst George Giannis said this about Tesla. Quote, the stock is really hinging upon the new vehicle they're introducing. First, the new Model Y, which looks like a remarkably nice vehicle, and the promise of additional vehicles throughout the rest of the year. When you have new products coming out and the company has done a really good job at introducing new products that people like, those tend to really move the P&L and reinvigorate growth. And I do think this will happen, and I will play this clip in just a moment. But first, making the headlines today, Sheryl Crow sells her Tesla, slams Elon Musk, and is donating the money to NPR. She says, quote, there comes a time when you have to decide who you are willing to align with. So long, Tesla. Money donated to NPR, which is under threat by President Musk. Crow says she hopes the truth will continue to find its way to those willing to know the truth. What? The truth is our government has spent our tax dollars very irresponsibly. One would even say it's fraudulent. That's up to you to decide, but $20 million for Sesame Street in Iraq, or, condoms for people in Africa, and while we can't even take care of veterans that are homeless and struggling. As I have said many times here on this channel, and on X, if you guys have not followed me on X, it's Michael Tyler over there. Definitely go ahead and give that a follow. I don't think any U.S. citizen in their right mind would agree with that kind of wasteful spending when police officers, firefighters, teachers struggle to get by. Vets are homeless. We have a homeless crisis. When there's a natural disaster and people lose everything, you get a $750 check and then go buy yourself a couple pairs of clothes, a couple days worth of food, and that's it. Really makes you just wonder how far society has just gone. Like, once we pay police officers, teachers, make sure vets are off the streets and doing well, fire, all that, call it $100,000 a year, make sure they're set, then we can worry about global welfare. But I do believe Elon Musk is doing the right thing. He's doing, obviously, what the people voted for, and I think any normal person understands that. So my point really here is, as this is kind of something that worries investors, that people are moving away from the Tesla brand, that Elon is alienating people from the Tesla brand, I would actually argue something much different. I would say that maybe Elon is opening up Tesla to a whole new group of people that may have not been interested in a Tesla before. Now, obviously, if you're all for gas vehicles, you're probably not going to switch to EVs. But a lot of the more conservative people may now look at Elon and look at Tesla and say, I want to support that, instead of individuals like Sheryl Crow here selling your Tesla. Like that, it doesn't matter for Tesla at all. And ultimately, the product, it sells itself. And no matter who's behind it, it's going to sell. It's like Apple, okay? You wouldn't give a crap what Tim Cook is doing. You're going to buy an iPhone because it's the best. That's it. It's the same with Tesla. Now, take a listen to this clip from George Giannis on CNBC yesterday, and then we will take a look at the record low short interest, what happened on Friday with option activity, and take a look at the technicals for Tesla stock and really the broader markets, because at this current moment, a lot of people are starting to say markets are due for a correction here. But in fact, we're probably not going to get that. We're probably going to get a breakout to the upside due to how many fearful investors we have. People are overly fearful right now. And we are in a technical breakout, if we want to get technical.
Going into the quarter last time, have you written a lot about the Musk brand and whether it's subsuming the Tesla brand?
Well, look, Carl, the reality is that the trends in the U.S. and Europe last year weren't great. They were saved by a remarkably strong year in China. And so far this year, just the little eensy-beensy data points that we have suggest that the trends aren't great so far in 2025. But the stock is really hinging upon the new vehicles that they're introducing. First, the new Model Y, which looks like a remarkably nice vehicle, and the promise of additional vehicles throughout the rest of the year. So what Elon Musk referred to on the call about I think an epic 2026 and ridiculous 27 and 28 had a lot to do with new product introductions, both on the vehicle side. Obviously, they're going to start ramping Optimus production. So we'll have to wait and see. We kept our buy rating because usually in technology or in vehicles, when you have new products coming out, and the company's done a really good job of introducing new products that people like, those tend to really move the P&L and reinvigorate growth. So that's what we're hoping for, and we'll see. We'll find out how compelling the new vehicles are. So far, so good with the new Model Y.
All right, we mentioned this Wired piece, and I know Wired's been critical of Musk in general, but they do point to the sales declines that we have numbers for, and they kind of get into this culture of fans who are at least vocal about disowning their Teslas somehow. How relevant is that when so much of at least your research is about full self-driving and Optimus and so forth?
It's really important, right? So Tesla has to have vehicles on the road that people want to buy in order to adopt full self-driving. And there's a really important data point this year. They're going to start Cybercab rides in Austin in the middle of the year. And so we'll see how successful that is. Obviously, Elon Musk has made many promises about full self-driving and now unsupervised full self-driving in the middle of the year. The autonomous business is incredibly important for Tesla going forward, not just because we said so, but because Elon Musk has said so. So number one, they have to see better adoption rates for people who already own Teslas that can adopt it. That'll move the margins. But also, they have to have a successful launch of the Cybercab in Austin this year for people to believe that their technology approach is the right one. Their technology approach is controversial. They're using only cameras. Other companies that we cover in the space use multiple sensors, and according to the company, they were relying on a neural network approach, i.e., there's no software encoding. You don't have engineers who are overriding the AI to make decisions for the vehicle. So we'll see.
How do you think about just the overall valuation levels? I know you have a buy rating on the stock, but isn't it still pretty expensive despite having shed hundreds of billions of dollars in the last 2 months? A slight rebound here, but I mean, this is still a pretty expensive stock, especially as you're looking pretty far out for some of these upside catalysts, right?
Look, you're going to have to pay an expensive multiple for a company like Tesla for a premium asset in the space. What we look forward to over the next couple of years is really good growth based on these new products, based on continued growth in energy storage. And the promise, right? We apply a healthy 40 multiple to 2027 earnings estimates at around $10. The promise beyond 2027 is continued growth in EVs, robotics, full self-driving, energy storage, all the things that he's talked about, Elon Musk has talked about. So you have to believe that these other new markets, which we do, will result in continued growth for Tesla beyond 2027. It's a rare asset, right? When you have an industry disruptor like Tesla, it's always hard to understand exactly what the right multiple to put on it is. I mean, think about Google, think about Amazon, think about other companies that have disrupted traditional industries. And Tesla is one of those. So that's why we decided to apply a very healthy multiple to our 2027 numbers based on the promise of those new products beyond that year.
Right. Yeah, there was a period there where the thinking was, well, all legacy OEMs go to the same multiple eventually, but Tesla has definitely given us new stuff to consider. George, talk soon, I hope. Thank you.
So that was all pretty interesting, but one thing I found particularly noteworthy is Canaccord Genuity's $400 price target on Tesla is using a 40 times PE multiple, times that by $10 of EPS by 2027. That's why they have a $400 price target over the next 12 months. That's kind of how they're valuing Tesla. But in all reality, if you use the current multiple of Tesla, which is around 120, you really could get to $1,200 per share. If we start to look out to 2027 and say we're going to have $10 of EPS with 120 times multiple, you get $1,200. Or what I like a little bit more is $10 for the EPS times 100 times multiple, which is $1,000. Potentially, say I'm crazy, by the end of this year. But we will talk about that a little bit more in the next video. Option activity for Friday was exceptionally bullish. You had 282 different trades totaling $433 million with a positive order value of 85%. You had 57.5% of the option activity on Friday in the call side and 42.72% option activity to the put side. A little bit more of a neutral number for next week, about 53.5% calls, 46.5% puts. Worth noting is Tesla did rally from the low of the day to close near the high of the day. Now, in after hours, you did fall, a 0.5%, but this does look like a hammer candlestick pattern where when you normally see this, it does lead to good things for Tesla, right? When you have this low wick and then Tesla closes higher than the low of the day, it usually does lead to a larger rally. Not always, like here was kind of a failed instance. You fell 9% the next day, but normally it does lead to a larger rally, like here, like here, like here, like here, like here even you went up 2% the next day. So that is an encouraging sign, although we have to get above this line here I have drawn on the chart at about $362 per share. And then the real hard work comes in where you got to get above this downtrending trend line. You have to get above your 20-day moving average and your 50-day moving average, really about $402 per share. So the next time we can break above $400 per share, we could see a large breakout to the upside. We're talking new all-time highs potentially. So I don't know when that will exactly happen, but when it happens, it should be very bullish for Tesla. And you can also see this in the headline SPY. We are in a technical breakout now. So for everyone that is, bearish on markets right now, that's a little dangerous if you're putting money on the line for this, because anytime you break out from a technical, downtrend, it leads to kind of a new level being set for markets, right? You had this here, you broke out, you rallied. You had this here, you broke out, you rallied. Now you've had the downtrend and you broke out. Okay, look at this trend line. Clear 1, 2, 3 touches of this downtrending trend line for really 3-4 weeks in a row. You were in this downtrend. It was really a consolidation downtrend, but you broke out on Thursday, and then you continued to hold that breakout on Friday and actually hit a new all-time high. Okay, now what I would argue is even coming next week, we don't have much for economic data. It's really going to be more small cap, mid cap earnings, and well, we've got a lot of uncertainties taken care of. Okay, as far as the tariff situation, we know now we're not going to know much until April 1st, right? We kind of have a rough outline for what retaliatory tariffs are going to look like, but nothing is going to be implemented quickly. We know the Fed's not really in a rush to change their policy stance. They're kind of, on this pause. And well, I think there's a lot more we can go off of from a certainty standpoint, and that should be good for markets and should be positive for Tesla. Now, we will talk about this a little bit more in depth in the next video, but what I will leave you with here is Tesla's short position by institutional investors is at the lowest you have ever seen in Tesla's history. If Tesla was doomed to crater from here, big money would be sending warning signals. They would not be covering on short positions at unprecedented paces, okay, having the lowest short interest in the history of Tesla. You would not see the option activity exceptionally bullish on a Friday heading into a weekend, okay? So I think a lot of retail investors that are super negative and emotional right now, is really misplaced. And I think anyone selling Tesla here is really going to regret it when I believe Tesla's a $900 stock by the end of this year. And I will explain why I believe Tesla will be a $900 stock in the next video, okay? And I think that's critically important that you guys watch. I will also point out that really, ever since the start of 2025, bearish sentiment has grown in markets. Some of this has to do with tariffs and a potential trade war, okay? But a lot of it just has to do with people feeling bearish because markets have done well. And you know what they say? Bull markets are born on pessimism, they mature on skepticism, and they die on euphoria. I'll tell you right now, we are far from euphoric. We are at the highest level of bearish investors in years. This kind of bearishness is usually only seen during major crash events, like not even corrections, like full-on crashes. 47.3% of investors are bearish, 24.3% of investors are neutral, and 28.4% are bullish. Whenever you have a quarter of investors that are bullish and 75% of investors expect the stock market to do nothing or fall in the next 6 months, you normally want to be buying that. And I know it's very contrarian, but typically that's when big returns are had. So ladies and gentlemen, let me know what you think about all of this information down below in the comment section. Have a fantastic weekend, and I will see you in the next one.